Good morning, you beautiful bunch of fuckers, and welcome to my world. I'm your host, Kevin Rutherford. It's Wednesday, November 12th. We are here live. It's time for Destination Health. I think I've got an audio issue somewhere. Let me try to figure it out. Looks like the audio is going out over the app. The audio is going out in the chat room. But I am not hearing myself in my own headset, which is, why would that, there we go. All right. I just hit a button somewhere I wasn't supposed to hit before. We're good. I can hear myself. Good morning, everybody in the chat room. If you're not in the chat room, come on over and join us. That's at letstrucktribe.com. If you're a member, you can watch this show live. We've got a video and a chat room going on. Come on over and join us. If you're not a member of letstrucktribe.com, you should join. Just head on over to the site itself, letstrucktribe.com, and get signed up and join us. Today is Destination Health Day. Phone lines are wide open. Today is about you. I've got some things I want to talk about here at the open, but it really is about your calls and questions. So pick up the phone and join me, 855-950-3835, or hit that call now button on your app. Speaking of the app, I know a lot of you are waiting. I'll give you an update. So the broadcast app, in my mind, was 99% done because there were only a couple of functions left that were not working. Everything in the app works except for a couple small things, and it all has to do with the caller flow and how the whole live call thing works. And I have built this call flow so many times I've lost count. This is by far the hardest thing I've had to do coding-wise. And there were two main ways to tackle this. And I tried them both multiple times with different options and variations. And there would always be one thing left that didn't work right. For example, in one setup, we were beta testing, calls were working, everybody was communicating, except the caller could not hear the live show on hold. They could only hear music. That's not acceptable. It's such a tiny thing, but it's not acceptable, and nothing I did would make it work. Or I could get that to work, but then for some reason, we could only transfer a caller once. So the screener could transfer a call to me. I could put that call on air, but then the only thing I could do after that would be hang up. Nothing else would work. I couldn't put the caller back on hold, couldn't send the caller back to the screener. Again, just one function that wouldn't work in the whole app, but it's not acceptable. We have to be able to do that. So after I was to the point where I was ready to give up, I didn't know what else to do. And I had tried both methods multiple ways. And then I had a brainstorm that what if I combined the two methods? Without getting too technical, that's what I started working on last night. And I think I might have it. And if I don't have it, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to build this app or not. I'll have to brainstorm again. But I'm close, just nowhere near close enough to test yet. So we will, I'll keep you updated. I'm going to keep working on it. I really don't want to dedicate another weekend to coding, but I will if I have to. So with that said, I see we've got some calls coming in. Jump in and join us. Today is really all about you. I'll stay here for as long as you've got calls. We're up to 3 hours, totally up to you. 855-950-3835. Hit that call now button on your app. Here's one of the other things I'm working on. And I'm really hoping to get a break here from coding in a bit and get caught up on some other things. One of the things I'm looking at is kind of a whole revamp in the health flow. And this is built around coaching, but it would still work for people who aren't going to be in coaching, but would call and be looking for help. I think this could also give us a way to get your friends, relatives, people you know. I always get the call, I have this person in my life, I want to help them. How do I get started? How do I get them started? So what I've done is I've gone back and looked at the last 10 years and our advice over the years and how our advice has shifted slowly over time. And I've never really clarified all of those changes. We've kind of incorporated them in along the way, but I really sat down and looked at, if somebody brand new comes to me, they have no idea about any of the functional nutrition or all the things we've been talking about, how would I introduce them to this? How would we get started? Yeah, and here's what I've come up with so far. I'm going to continue working on this. Clearly, and I doubt that this is ever going to change, the diet is the top priority. One of the things that's happening in coaching is I'm getting some very, very sick people, stage 4 cancers, multiple autoimmune conditions, horrible hormonal imbalances, and they really haven't made that dietary shift. In order for me to work with somebody, they have to make the dietary shift. So I know sometimes people are signing people up for coaching, and then I find out in the first session that they have not changed their diet at all. Now, that's kind of a requirement. If you don't change your diet, I can't really help you. And I don't want to sell people a bunch of supplements and string them along and have them think that this is going to work. Without the dietary change, it doesn't work. So that's number one priority. I have changed how to approach the diet. Originally, we said stop grains. There's a better place to start, and that is to stop seed oils. Seed oils are doing far more damage to our health. The difference sometimes is that when we quit grains, we can see results in a couple of days. I've seen it happen in as little as 36 hours. Everybody sees a change in, 72 hours and beyond when you stop grains. So you get that quick hit, you get that validation, things immediately get better. But there is much more damage being caused by seed oils. Now, you may not notice a huge difference that's obvious right off the bat when you drop seed oils, but it should still be your number one priority. Part of the problem is it can take 2 to 3 years to clear all the seed oil damage. So the improvements from stopping seed oils happen over a much longer period of time. So I would stop seed oils first. I would stop grains second. I would stop all unnecessary sugar and starch third. And by that time, you virtually eliminated processed food anyway, because just about every processed food has seed oils, grains, and sugar. Plus, it has all the preservatives, the colorings, the junk. But by the time you get there, if there's still some processed food in your diet and you haven't eliminated it, you should. Basically, what you're down to is a low-carb paleo diet, whether it's carnivore or ketovore, or whatever label we want to put on it. You would be eating mostly animal products, some vegetables, very little or no fruit, depending on where you are metabolically, and no real sweeteners. Food that doesn't have an ingredient list: meat, fish, eggs, and veggies, basically. Some nuts and seeds are okay. The closer you get to total compliance on that diet, almost nobody does, but the closer you get, the healthier you're going to be, the faster you're going to heal. I used to say, change the diet and wait 30 days, and then we'll take a look at supplements. Here's what I would say now. Before you change your diet or while you're changing your diet, take our new assessment. And I would immediately start somebody on a digestive kit now. There is almost, no, I'm just going to say nobody. There's nobody that comes off the standard American diet and doesn't need help with digestion. And if we don't get digestion right, then a lot of the nutrition is being wasted. So where I used to say, let's just wait 30 days and see, now what I would do, take the assessment. The assessment will tell us which digestive problem is worse and where we should start, and we have a kit. So it would make a lot of sense to do the assessment. From the assessment, we could recommend a digestive kit. It's going to be different for everybody, or multiple different approaches depending on what your symptoms are. That's what the assessment would tell us. And we would immediately start working on digestion. Now, if you did all of that for the first 30 days, you will absolutely have a health transformation. Everything changes if you do this. Then what I would say is, after that first 30 days, we start working on the second biggest problem. And the whole idea behind functional health, functional nutrition, functional medicine is the belief that our body will heal itself if we give it two conditions. We give it all the nutrition it needs and none of the junk in our diet. That's step number one. That's what we just talked about for the first 30 days. Then we have to get all the toxins out that we can get out. And I'm finding that this is more important than I ever believed. And I've done a lot of work and a lot of research on this. So you got to start cleaning up your environment. I would start with personal care products. And here's the real trick. Use as few as possible. And I know this is harder for women, but this may be why we've always said, well, women struggle with this more because they're more complicated hormonally. Maybe that's a part of it, but maybe it's all of the additional personal care products that women use. I would not be surprised by that. There's also the possibility that women tend to do more of the cleaning at home. It's not sexist. It's just the way it is. Not always, but that would put them in contact with more toxins that way as well. But when you think about women, multiple hair care products, that's not uncommon. I've seen 3 or 4 or 5 different products being used on hair alone. Makeup, all the lotions, we could just go on and on and on. Perfumes, deodorants, toxic toothpaste, over-the-counter medications that we've always thought were kind of harmless. They're absolutely not. You've got to clean that part up. The products that you are going to use, maybe some soap. I know women will freak out about this, but I would stop with all the hair care stuff and wash your hair with whatever good soap you have. There's also a strategy that we could talk about. Women who can go several weeks without washing their hair find that their hair gets much, much healthier. Just kind of a tough transition. I would make a decision on how many health care or personal care products you want to use. Make it as few as possible, and then get the best quality without all the junk. Like a good goat milk soap, a good tallow-based soap. If you need some sort of skin moisturizer, first of all, if you need a skin moisturizer, it's not your skin that's the problem. It's your fat digestion or your fat intake. If you have enough fat in your diet and you're digesting it, you won't need skin moisturizers. If you're going to use one, make it tallow-based. After you get the personal care products taken care of, I would start cleaning up the home environment. There are some great cleaners on the market now that are not toxic. I use two of them. One's called Clean Boss. I really like that one a lot. Lisa doesn't like the smell of that one. It's a little off-putting for her. It's actually it's based on thyme oil. I think it's thyme. Really, really powerful cleaner. No junk in it whatsoever. I kind of like the scent. It's a very concentrated thyme. I use that for a lot of things. Works really good on the infrared sauna blanket. And I clean that every day because I sweat so much in it. There's some really good vinegar-based cleaners that clean really well, don't have a lot of junk. You don't need 57 home cleaning products. You know, we have stainless steel cleaners and hard surface cleaners and marble cleaners and carpet cleaners, and we just have so many cleaning products now, and most of them are toxic. Once you got through that, and we're probably looking at, say, 60 days here, 30 days on the diet, 30 days on cleaning up the environment. That's not really rushing it, but it's not, you know, if you can get it all done in 60 days, you will actually absolutely see a major health transformation. Then what I would do is I would take our new test, and it's not quite released yet. I think we're just now shipping it out to a couple of people in the coaching program. I've taken it. Lisa's taken it. We have James from KBMO joining me, or maybe it's Matt. Somebody from KBMO is joining me. Maybe two people in the next month or two. And we'll be talking about that test. I really like this test a lot for several reasons. It's not outrageously expensive. I think we'll be able to keep the cost under $400. We're still working on that. It's a home test, so you don't have to go to a doctor or a lab. It is a urinalysis, and it's a one-time. It's not even like a Dutch test where you have to do the saliva or urinalysis sometimes 4 times around the clock. This is a one-time, once in the morning, 70 different markers across nutritional status, stress hormones, toxins like mold and parasitic infections can be picked up on this test. Mitochondrial health, 70 different markers, simple at-home test. I would take that after 60 days, and then we fix what's left. That process right there, that might be another 30 days. So if you stayed focused and worked through this process step by step, you would have a major health transformation in 90 days. You would be healthier than at least 96 or 97% of the population. I just made that number up, but I'm pretty sure it's accurate. So we might be putting together a special. I'll talk to the team about this. Maybe we do a package where you get the MIP test, one digestive kit, whichever one it turns out you need from the assessment, and a month of coaching. And you'd be able to start that, and then we could coach you through that. And there just aren't many problems health-wise we wouldn't be able to fix like this. I think we've really got it down to a system. And this is 10 plus years of reading, research, testing, working with a lot of people. I finally had some time to just sit down and look at the whole process and say, based on everything I know now, how would I do this? And this is it. This is the protocol. So we'll be talking about that more. I see I've got calls coming in. The rest of the day is all about you. If you've got calls, I'll stay here. We've got about 2.5 hours left. If you want to jump in, 855-950-3835. Let me check into the chat room real quick. Nothing really going on in the chat room, so we will get to some calls. Wait a minute. I did see a question in the chat room. Let me go back and address that. Ann was asking, good morning, any suggestions for finding recipes for making baby food? You know what, Ann, we should put some of those up on the tribe site. Angie, if you could make a note of that, we could generate some pretty darn good baby food recipes. I'll give you some ingredients. And really for baby food, everything's going to be cooked and blended for the most part. Here are two really good ingredients for making baby food. Liver. Yes, liver. Remember, you're going to blend this. And avocados. Liver and avocados, two great bases. And then you could, I would stay away from dairy for the most part with babies. Hopefully they're breastfeeding. You could do a lot of well-cooked vegetables that get blended in. I wouldn't overdo the vegetables. Soft-cooked meats as well. Eggs. If hopefully you're getting really good quality eggs and the baby is non-reactive to eggs. But really, when you're thinking about baby food recipes, just think about ingredients and then texture, and you're going to be blending this for the most part. But we could get some good recipes put up on that. All right, let's get to some phone calls. Let's go to Illinois to get started today. Cam, welcome.
Hi, Kevin. I loved your timeline. I feel like I am a prime candidate for this package.
Oh, excellent.
I have been listening to you. I was cleaning out some stuff. I found a note from 19, where was this? 17. Anyway, so I go years back listening to you, and
Okay.
we decided to start somewhere. My daughter and I, we took a gut barrier panel. So I sent the results to Chelsea, and Ava is positive for Candida, and I am positive for LPS. So I thought I'd get your take on it. And then, oh my gosh, this package is like a godsend.
Well, perfect. So I've got yours up here. You're slightly elevated on LPS. No markers for Candida. Zonulin is, it's not really borderline. You're still in the green zone there. No occludin whatsoever. You don't have a really compromised gut. A little bit. Nothing I would be overly concerned about as far as this goes. We may include something as simple as bone broth. You know, daily bone broth may be enough to kind of straighten up the few issues we have. We could add a gut healing supplement for 30 days. So on yours, not overly concerned at all on the gut barrier. So we could focus on other things instead. For your daughter, kind of similar. She only has one marker. It's not really elevated. It's only slightly elevated. And she only has one of the, you could have two different types of markers for each one, and both of you only have one of each. For her, really, with Candida, the quickest way to start working on Candida is just a low sugar diet. Candida feeds on sugar, and we can starve Candida out pretty easily. Now, how old is she?
She's 21.
Oh, okay. So she's not a child anymore. She's an adult. Is she willing to change her diet?
Oh my gosh, I hate like her. I'd be a completely different person. She has her nutrition certification. Her plate is like sweet potatoes, sauerkraut, beef and beef broth, eggs, chicken sausage.
Oh, excellent.
It's immaculate.
Okay. Then, if that's the case, then we may have to do a little bit of an intervention on the Candida itself. What's probably happened is she's developed candida somewhere. Candida can then develop what are called biofilms. And those biofilms are like armor shielding for the candida itself. So even if we go in and try to kill it with things like oil of oregano, or it may not work. So we do have some supplements that can break the bioshields. We have a manuka honey that can do it. So with her, where your protocol, your digestive protocol would include some gut healing, her digestive protocol would include some biofilm busting. But neither one of you have any major issue here.
Well, here's the thing. I think I'd like for her to be in your coaching for a month, and she has agreed to this. She lost her period after going on birth control, and it's been over a year, and she has not gotten it back. And she's been on all these supplements, and nothing's moving.
So is she still on the birth control?
No.
Okay, good.
She's been working on this for over a year to get her period back.
So where have all the supplements come from? Is she working with practitioners or kind of DIY?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. A functional medicine doctor on the East Coast that she found. I told her about you and how you were talking about helping women with their hormone situation. She has hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism.
Okay.
So I was wondering if you thought that was an okay idea to talk to you for
absolutely. Yeah. You know, there are lots of ways of approaching this. One of the things we see a lot is we still make mistakes in the functional world. Even the best practitioners can't figure certain things out. It might take us a while. One of the things I've seen is an overuse of supplements. You know, it's tempting as a practitioner to look at every symptom somebody has and throw a supplement at it. And sometimes we fail to look at the root cause, because many times we don't need any of those supplements. Many times we're making the same mistake that medicine can make, is that we're treating the symptom. And we think we're treating the root cause. And sometimes we have to dig a little deeper. Sometimes we have to do a little more testing. Sometimes it is just trial and error. But a lot of times what I see happen is you go to one practitioner, you get a bunch of supplements. Maybe things aren't working well, and maybe you end up with a different practitioner and you get some more supplements, and nobody goes back to say, should we stop taking these others? Or maybe we just need a total reset here. And sometimes they're just the too many supplements can cause confusion. And so sometimes what I like to do is just say, let's just start over. Let's just do a reset. Let's do an assessment. Let's look at whatever blood work you have. In a case like this, where somebody's already been working with a functional medicine practitioner or multiples in a year, and they have a clean diet, we're going to need some testing. If it were easy, the other practitioners would have figured it out. So rather than just me trying the same thing, let me look at your symptoms and see if I can make the right guess here, which is all I would be doing. The odds are, if it were easy, she would have figured it out already. So she would be, there's two tests. I would start with the new MIP test we have right now. And if she's in coaching, we'd be able to get that to her. We're not selling it out of coaching yet. And if there was a big clue in there, and there may very well be, then that would give us a direction. If it's a little murky still, but it's pointing towards hormones, then we might do the complete Dutch test. And the Dutch test gives us the full picture on all the hormones and what's going on. So that's kind of the way I would approach her. It's a little different because she's done so much work already.
Fabulous. That's exactly. She did bring up the Dutch test. However, you know, that's down the line, depending on if others, you know, the tests, initial stuff. So I get it.
And I am always sensitive to budget, and I can always work with somebody without the test. I just let them know, without the test, this is going to be some trial and error. I'm going to be guessing at things and just, sometimes throwing darts in the dark and hoping we hit the board. And sometimes that
At
can
this
work
point.
well. And sometimes it saves us money.
Yeah. At this point, since she's been at it so long,
Right.
I'd like to test.
I'm thinking for her that would be the same thing. Because again, most practitioners who do this are pretty good at it. They can usually figure it out. If somebody hasn't figured it. Hi, I'm Kevin Rutherford. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe or leave a comment below. It really helps us get the show out to more people. If you'd like to get the full show, ad-free, you can sign up with the link below.